George Pickens, George Wallace, George Foreman, or George Costanza. Philly by 10. Welcome back to the Down South Philly Show. I am your host, DP. Dom will be joining us a little later tonight if you can. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we got to talk about tonight, first thing first, we got to talk about Dallas Goddard. So it looks like they reworked this deal, which is great news. Um, the telltale signs that we were going to keep Dallas Goddard really was the fact that one, we didn't draft a tight end, um, didn't go after really anybody in free agency. So the next logical step was to try to figure out a way for the money to make sense. Dallas Goddard took a hometown discount just so he could stay local, which I don't blame him. Let's get into Dallas Goddard a little bit. He is easily, with injuries, a top 10 tight end. But if you take the injuries out of it, I think he has the potential to be top 5, maybe even top 3. His only knock is really that he just can't stay on the field. But when he's on the field, it's nothing that he can't do from the tight end position. So I mean, he can run, he can catch, he can he's dangerous after the catch. Um, and he can block, everything that you want a tight end to be. Dallas Goddard can do it at an above average level, if not an elite level at times. His only knock really is just that he gets injured. But he was huge for us in the clutch. Whenever we needed, that spark from the tight end position or just opening up the middle of the field, he was there to make big catches. Huge play comes to mind against the Packers when he had that nasty stiff arm. Um, but yeah, I think it's a smart move to go ahead and add him back to the roster, especially since we didn't have any other options. We did. It was some speculation, and I heard that we went after George Kittle. We tried to offer up. We tried to offer up a 3 for him. Yeah, Eagles Nest. Dallas Goddard. I heard that we tried to go after Kittle. We tried to offer up like a 2 for him, and of course, San Francisco wasn't having any of that. They need weapons themselves. But imagine this offense with a George Kittle. Um, I'm sure it probably was going to be for Dallas Goddard too. I didn't really look into that trade, but imagine this offense with George Kittle. That would have been nasty too. If we want to compare the two, I would say you kind of got to split hairs with him. I give the slight edge to George Kittle though. It just seems like he just has that added aggressive nature that you would like from your tight end. But I love the fact that we were able to hold on to Dallas Goddard. Like I said, we didn't really have many options outside of the draft, which we didn't take anybody in the draft, and obviously it was no big takers for, I guess, what we was looking for. So with that being said, let's get into why we here. We want to talk about the next business is this schedule, man. We got stuff dropping. We got some big games, so we finally know who we're gonna play in the opening week. We got Dallas. I gotta admit, I didn't expect to play Dallas on September the 4th. I was thinking maybe a Rams, a Lions, or even a Washington. But for us to be able to turn around and open it up with with a division foe like Dallas. I really think what put them over the top is adding Pickens, along with all the other storylines that they got, and the fact that it's just Dallas, right? Dallas is always gonna sell tickets. They they bring it. They bring it from a hype standpoint. What Dak is back healthy. George Pickens makes them, better. At least, even if it's just a little bit, it makes them better because now they have a bona fide number two. What he will do is, that remains to be seen. But they got better on the offensive line. They at least, tried to replace, their right guard. They got Booker, three Tylers now on the starting line. Um, Cooper BB is a good center. So I mean, I think they fortified the offensive line at least on paper. Um, I'm loving. They made some solid moves. They made some solid moves. Evidently, they did enough to impress the NFL. So,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. We in the building.
welcome in my co-host Dom. I was just talking about opening day and just really being kind of surprised with the fact that we ended up with Dallas opening up. Out of all the teams that we could have played, I was really expecting more like a Rams or maybe a Lions. Um, even a
My bad, my bad.
Rams.
I heard you.
Oh yeah, Rams or Lions or even Washington. So I think what ultimately ended up putting them over the top is the fact that they added Pickens along with the storylines of Dak coming back. They fortified the offensive line, at least on paper. They got a three-headed monster in the backfield with Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders and the young boy Blue that they drafted. So how do you feel about the matchup, the opening day matchup that we got coming up against them boys?
Hey, let me say this real quick. But man, I don't feel no type of I feel like it was as a sacrifice. The NFL, you know what I'm saying? That's what they was doing. They was going down the list. Who can we sacrifice week one? Nah, I can't be the Rams. Dang, nah, we don't want to sacrifice Washington too early. We gotta let Jaden Daniels build up. They were just trying to figure out who they wanted to sacrifice, and they came up with Dallas. That's
Hey,
it. They was
I
trying to
take
figure out who they wanted to sacrifice, and then they sacrificed Dallas. Week one, Dallas fans think it means something else. Ah, yeah, man, look, it means y'all get. I ain't saying we're gonna go ahead and beat
Kansas City.
Washington in the NFC Championship game, or Kansas City in the Super Bowl. But I mean, as far as I see, we come out there with a dub, barring some kind of crazy injury or something like that. But um, I don't. They said the last time we played Dallas week one was 2000. I wasn't even an Eagle fan yet. There was like a year before I came up. There was like the year before I became a fan. I think I became an Eagles fan in 2001, 2002, one of them. So yeah. So I mean, I don't feel no type of way about it, man. I do think this though. Let me say this. I think that week one is the best chance they got of beating us. So, because week one, you never know what you're going to get from either team. So anybody can get caught slipping. Really, the first 3 weeks is the time that a bad team want to catch some teams slipping.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I will say that. Now, I ain't going to completely act oblivious to that. Like, that is a best chance of beating us, a week one game. But yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I didn't think they was gonna do it though.
Nah, I wasn't expecting that at all. Um, we got it leaked that we gonna play. Um, on Black Friday, we got the Bears. We got the Packers. We got the Packers in November, late November, and then
Yeah, November 10th, I think
yeah,
it was.
November 10th, and we also got Washington in Week 16. I think it might be the day before Christmas. So those are the four games that got leaked for us. Out of the four games that are leaked, which one you looking forward to the most?
The games
So
that's
we
leaked.
got we got
It's hard. It's hard for me to say. It'd be hard for me to say Washington because this, like, that's the end of the.
yeah.
That's dang near the. You know saying it's hard for me to say that, so I would have to see the Washington game before that because there ain't no way we playing them two games back to back, that game and the last game. So, um,
Well, sometimes
I'm sure we playing much
they
earlier.
pull that bull jive where it's like 2 times in 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, they might pull something like that, but just off of what we got so far, I couldn't say Washington just based off that. Now, if we play Washington and something crazy happened in that game, and I like, dang, can't wait till we play. Now it could change, but out of the games in the context that I got now, I would have to say Dallas week one. I would have to say
Yeah.
Dallas week one. I mean, I really can't. Well, now that I think about it, Green Bay, yeah, I might have to say Green Bay.
The
The reason why
crybabies.
I'm saying Green Bay, huh?
I said the crybabies.
Yeah, the reason why I'm saying Green Bay, I had to think about it. The reason why I'm saying Green Bay is because they crybaby ass coach trying to get doggone the Eagles QB sneak banned. If that ain't some soft, boy, I don't know what it is. I can't even believe it. Yeah, I was getting ready to say Dallas, then I had to think about it because I really don't care too much. We've been playing Green Bay so
Yeah,
much, like
like damn
we've
near
been
every
playing
year.
them every year now. Yeah, like I'm kind of over them right now, but I do. We do got to go in there and handle business. Like I think that's a game. Hey, everybody gonna go in there. Boy, they better hope. They better hope they ban this because if they don't, we gonna go in there and do it every play. The goal
Hmm.
line, the goal line. Same play. Okay, stop it.
Hey, I'm
I would have to say Green Bay just because they. What about you?
I'm gonna have to go with Dallas, but I'm going with Dallas just because it's the first game. I'm so ready to just watch Philly football that whoever we would have played, that's at this point, not knowing what nobody really looked like. We ain't seen no preseason football, not that that matter. But we ain't really seen we don't know who finished and who not from a adding player perspective. So at this point, all we got to go on is just being ready for some real football to kick off. So that's where I'm at with that one. I'm just ready for some real football to kick off, and lucky for us, it's a division four, so we can go ahead now. It's bittersweet because sometimes you don't want to start off. You hate to start off with a division or a conference game like right out the bat, especially with us having a new offensive coordinator, and Kevin Patullo. We don't really know what to expect. We think that it should be, you know, a similar offense, but we had no idea. Um, so it does suck from that aspect of, you mess around and drop this game. That's a division game and a conference game that you didn't drop right out the gate. But it's early. So either way it is what it is.
Yeah, you got a bunch of static. I don't know if that's like if they can hear it, but it's a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah, I hear something with you too. Hold on, let me see if I can. On, oh,
I can't even hear what you're saying.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but it's bad like it was with just the regular
The
static. Like
static.
you might have to ride it.
Okay. Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to talk about once we got through with the schedules was now that Dallas did add Pickens, now they want to automatically put him in a same same category as a Smitty and a AJ and start ranking them. So I want you to go ahead and rank. Let's just do NFC East. Rank your wide receiver duos because you got the Giants with um Neighbors and Wandale Robinson. You got Washington with Debo and Scary Terry. You got Pickens and CD, and you already know what you got in Philly. So go ahead and rank the NFC East wide receiver duos.
Uh, alright. So at the number at the number 4 spot, I'm gonna have to put. I'm gonna have to put the. I'm gonna have to put the. I'm gonna have to put the Giants at the number 4 spot. I'm gonna put the Giants at the number 4 spot because of this. One, I don't think one for one Neighbors better than anybody else number one wide receiver in the division. All right. So same for the number 2 wide receiver. So if we just go on wide receiver for wide receiver, I think like none of them is better than 101. 2, they got a new quarterback. We've seen them play together before, but we haven't seen them play with a different quarterback yet. So it's to be determined. And on top of that, like I said, we already don't see him as better than none of the other wide receivers anyway. So I'm gonna have to put him in the number 4 spot. Number 3, I'm gonna have to go with Dallas. I'm gonna go with Dallas at the number 3 spot because CeeDee Lamb is a dog. He is a dog. CeeDee Lamb grew on me. These last probably 2 seasons, maybe 3, CeeDee Lamb grew on me. I like them, but I didn't necessarily have him as like one of them guys. But yeah, he one of them ones. But we haven't seen the duo together yet. We know what they do alone. We know what Dak and CD can do, but we have yet to see them together. I could put them towards the top, but it just be based on like me guessing, like what we think about the wide receivers. So I had to put them in the number 3 spot because we haven't seen that duo work together yet. You can't I can't just put you on top of the mountain. You gotta work your way to the top of the mountain. All right. So the number 2 spot, I'm ready to go Washington because we know what Jane Daniels can do. We know what Jane Daniels and Terry McLaurin can do. Now add Debo in that mix with what's the offensive coordinator name?
Scary Terry. Oh, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah. So add him with the play calling. He gonna have some stuff drawn up. Now this is kind of going back to the Dallas thing. This is kind of like me projecting, but at the same time, like I said, I've seen Kingsbury, Jay Daniels, and Terry McLaurin together already. I've seen what Debo can do, so I had to put them at the number 2 spot just for that. Now, number 1, you talking about the number 1 wide receiver duo in the league, not just doggone the East. The whole world, Craig. Not just the city.
The only duo with a ring.
Yeah, so the only duo, with ring. Like they the boys that won the Super Bowl together, but it really ain't just about the Super Bowl. It's like them boys dogs everywhere they go. Like AJ gonna do his thing, Smitty gonna do his thing, and they both can run every route on the route tree. Go ball, they can route you up, whatever you want, they can get it to you. Whatever you want, they can get it to you. So, and we've seen this duo together for multiple years, and they've been in that conversation for multiple years. We never seen none of these other guys in that conversation. Like it's just now becoming a thing in all season. They ain't even played no ball yet. Like they
Not it down.
Not like talk about these other dudes. So you won't come out the gate and just jump in the top. Nah, they ain't even work like that. But I would have to put Philly at number 1.
So you got Philly, Washington, Dallas, and New York.
Yep.
I had to. I think I would probably change um Dallas and Washington only from the standpoint of, and I didn't even put into account the offensive coordinator, which is a great point. But from the standpoint of, I think like George Pickens is a better wide receiver than Debo. That, and we splitting hairs with those two anyway, because they both unproven as duos. But from a wide receiver perspective, I feel like George Pickens is a better wide receiver than Debo. Debo is a hell of a playmaker when he's healthy, um, especially after the catch. He one of them ones. But as just a pure wide receiver, I think Pickens give you just more from that position than Debo can, and that's the only reason why I will put Dallas ahead of Washington as a wide receiver duo.
I agree because I don't think Debo's just a pure wide receiver, but like I said, the
Right.
only reason why I kind of put them ahead was because I already seen them. So I was like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'll say this: by the time the season over with, I think Dallas would be number 2. But right now, before the season starts, I can't just like give it to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do think George Pickens, like, man, last year, put it like this: last year when we had to play Pittsburgh, or last year, if you look at our season last year, we kind of was like watching all the wide receivers that Quinion Mitchell had to face. I ain't
Hmm.
even gonna lie, George Pickens was like the only one I was like, I wonder what he's gonna do against George Pickens. That was like he was like probably the man, especially after we had already played the Bengals. I was like, man, I want to, because nobody else really, maybe CD, but yeah, I was like, man, I want to see what he gonna do, and then he ended up not playing in that game. But that was a matchup I really wanted to see. I was like, because I know George Pickens, he's a dog, he's physical. Now he ain't gonna take the top off, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying, he gonna catch that ball by any means necessary.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna get physical with you. So I was wondering how that was gonna go. They never ended up facing each other, but we will see it this year. So um, yeah,
Yeah. I think
I like George Pickens a lot though. I like him a lot. So no, I ain't no hater at all. I think that's a great addition to Dallas. Like I think that's like outside of his personality and stuff like that, just like the talent wise, man, that's a great addition.
yeah. If he can, if off the field issues don't follow him to Dallas, they got him one for cheap. Um. So I mean, I guess that's what remains to be seen. I feel like that that really should put some pressure on us to shore up the hole that Slay left behind. Cause if Slay still there, then we don't really have no holes on the back end as far as like man to man. Um our two biggest holes, in my opinion, would be safety and cornerback right now, opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Ideally, I would want to keep Cooper DeJean in the slot just because he then got a year under his belt. And you don't want to just, I mean, not that he can't play outside, but if it work, if it ain't broke, ain't no need to try to fix it. So ideally, I would be looking at somebody like a Gilmore, a Stephon Gilmore. I'd be cool with. And that safety, if we did go out and get a Simmons, I wouldn't be mad at that either. And it don't even necessarily have to be both. I'd be happy with just one or the other. But if I had to choose, it would be Gilmore to add to the roster. Just from a veteran standpoint, and from the fact that he kind of, it seemed like he fit what we're doing. He a good tackler. He can play zone. He can man up. Yeah, he seemed like he could be a good fit. If you had to pick any veteran to add to the defensive side of the ball specifically, you got your eyes on anybody still?
Nah, not outside of the guys you just named, because we kind of talked about it the other day. I kind of feel the same way about the cornerback room. Like we really don't know what to expect, and not only do we
Mhm.
not really know what to expect, it's kind of like I'm a type of person. I'm always thinking about depth. Like, all right, we got
Mhm.
two dogs at that position, at the wide receiver position or the cornerback position. But what happened if one of the dogs go down? Like, who up next? You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like that's why I like the situation when we was in last year because the two backups was Keely Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers, and I knew we was gonna get quality work out of them. Now
Yep.
I'm expecting Keely. I really like Keely Ringo. Like I'm expecting him to probably get that position. But if they bring in a vet, like Gilmore, like you said, I wouldn't mind that because not only is he proven, but it's a veteran presence in the building. Like I think that'll be good for the defense. Veteran presence in there. He still can teach some young guys some stuff. Um, Same thing with Simmons. Like that's another veteran presence in the DB room. So he got some stuff he can teach the safeties and stuff like that as well. So, and I don't like situations where like we go into the season kind of feeling like we might need a linebacker or whatever, and then come to the trade deadline, we ended up giving away a pick for that position. It's like, man, we should have just did that in the beginning of the
Mhm.
season, man, instead of trying to wait and see if somebody gonna get hurt or somebody not playing as well as man. Look, let's just take care of it now. Like last year, I feel like we made some great moves this season, but now I think
Mhm.
the difference this year is we don't know all the way what to expect versus last year. We knew what we was getting out of CJ Um, for me personally, just from watching Isaiah Rodgers tape, I knew what we was getting out of Isaiah Rodgers, and I knew how hungry he was. So I knew what was getting out of him. Um, only person we really didn't know what we was getting was Quinyon Mitchell, but everybody else on the defense as a starter, we kind of knew what we was getting already. Now, well, not Zach Bond. We didn't know what we was getting out of Zach Bond, but I wasn't really too much
Mhm.
about that. Um, but yeah, so this year just going into it, like you said, cornerback and safety, and the only guys I wouldn't mind if they bring in, like you said, Justin Simmons and Gilmore. So
Gilmore.
yeah, I feel like we good on the defensive line. We got a bunch of guys who can play on the edge. I feel like we got a lot of linebackers that can get in, fill in. Um, Now, yeah, well, yeah, I was about to say defensive tackles, but we got Moro Jomo. He gonna go out this year. We know what Carter's gonna do. I think Jordan Davis gonna take a huge step this year. So
I do too.
I think a lot of people worried about what Ben Williams left behind and all that. Man, look, y'all not ready for what y'all about to see out of Jordan Davis. So be ready. But yeah, I think we
Yeah,
get
man.
I went mine like you said, safety and cornerback.
Shout out to Jesse Reed. We got a question in the chat. He said, "What do the Eagles do when Dallas lines up CD, Pickens, Turpin, Ferguson, Blue? Just get an under routes to Ferguson." I mean, that sound good on paper, but I mean, at the end of the day, I trust Vic. I trust Vic Fangio when it come to putting the right scheme together. Um, I think the Cowboys do have an advantage in that when you get all new coaches, you have no idea what they're gonna come out with in week one. Um, so that's always the advantage for like a new head coach or a new offensive coordinator, especially one where the quarterback and the number one wide receiver already have some chemistry. Um, so that I think more than the personnel, because the personnel for Dallas really don't scare me. We pretty much done seen the same personnel outside of Dak, either Dak playing or he not, and Pickens is new. It's gonna be running back by committee. We don't even know if Blue starting right off the bat. So I mean he might start, he might not start. But I think what's more dangerous than the personnel is just the fact that we haven't seen this offense. We don't know what it's gonna look like in week one, and that could be, in their favor. But I'm not worried about the personnel. How you feel about that one? Look like he might have cut out a little bit. But great question, Jesse Reed. But honestly, if we can kind of break down a little bit, even though it's super early, we can kind of break down what this matchup could potentially look like. Hold on, it looked like he coming back in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody was calling my phone.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he basically
But
asking
yeah,
yeah.
I seen what he said, man. Like DP said. I mean, it sounds good on paper, but man, just the way that you think of it in your head, a lot of times it don't even go like that. To be real, it's probably gonna be more so of they gonna have to worry about our defense than we gonna have to worry about their offense. You gotta think
Right.
about it. Jalen Carter coming up the middle, you probably ain't got time to get the ball to CD and Pickens. You feel me? Sometimes you gotta think about that. Then you got Cooper DeJean out there in the backfield. You throw that thing you want to, it might get to the crib.
Hey,
But nah, I mean, but nah, I mean, it is gonna be like a little bit of something, you know, I don't think it's gonna go like how you thinking in your head. Is it something to worry about a little bit? Yeah, you gotta pay attention. They gotta be on their P's and Q's, but I don't think it's like to the extreme where it's like, yeah, we ain't gonna be able to stop these boys. Nah. I got full faith in Fangio. Like I said, I believe in Fangio more than I believe in anybody, any of y'all offenses. So, and then whatever y'all do crazy, like Fangio, and once Fangio see it, it's a wrap. So whatever y'all little tricky, whatever y'all tricks y'all got, y'all better pull it out week one, cause that second game we play, y'all ain't even gonna be probably ain't even gonna be close.
second game, they better get their rocks off in the first half.
For real, it might get ugly. That's why I said the advantage that they got is playing us week one, because
Mhm.
anything can happen week one, and not only can anything happen week one, since we had Nick Sirianni, for the most part, we've been kind of like we'll start the first few games of the season. Now we might win them, but the way that we play, we might start out like a little bit slow.
Sluggish.
We ain't, you know what I'm saying? We ain't a well-oiled machine yet, but like if you want to catch us slipping, it is in the first 3 to 4 games. By the time week 5 hit, strap your boots up. Hey, so let me ask you this real quick. Do you think we playing Dallas week one? You feel like we not gonna play them all again all the way until like one of them last 2 3 games of the season? Well, we know we playing Washington, but I'm just saying.
Nah, I think we get them out of the way like in the first half of the season. I think
Right.
it seemed
Like
like
by
they
September.
taking yeah. I think they pretty much then took the place of Washington in the division. Like, you know how we usually always started off with like a
Yeah.
Washington week one,
Yep.
and then we finish with
Yep. You right.
Washington before the break, and then we end up playing Dallas on the back end because it's always
Yeah.
like some suspense. So our first time playing them probably like after the bye week, and then we
Yeah.
normally play them like one more time when it
In the,
don't even matter because we didn't got the
yeah.
division wrapped up.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? You know what's crazy about Dallas? So when it come to Dak got an amazing record against the NFC East, right? Um, I think it's like 9-4 or something like that. And he never lost to the Giants. But don't you find it funny that Dak
I
don't
think he lost to the
never
Giants. I think he lost to the Giants one time. I think his first L was to the Giants, but he haven't lost since then.
since then?
Yeah, I
Don't you
think his
think
very
it's
first loss was
funny
to the Giants.
that every time the Cowboys end up having a bad season, he go out? Now some people could say that the reason why they bad is because he got hurt. But if we can remember seasons like last year, they was boo boo before he got hurt. It just was like the icing on the cake, and he did have evidently a bad injury, but it just seemed to be when Dak see that the season about to go bad, he about to go ahead and check out because he ain't about to have that on his record. And the reason I say that
Gone.
is because him and Hurts then only played like 3 times, like head to
Yeah.
head, and Dak 2-1 against Hurts. The 2 games that
And
they won the
two of
same
them
year.
times was in one season, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 23, and then the first time that Hurts ever became a starter. So they only played 3
Yep.
times. Dak 2-1 against them, but it seemed like for whatever reason either Dak hurt or Hurts hurt, and they never really get to have that head to head like every year.
Right.
So that's
Right.
one thing that I'm interested in is seeing that head to head matchup between the two. For one, just because they don't get that's probably why they did it week 1 because they wanted to see it. That's the only way to guarantee that them two gonna be healthy. Because if they put it on the back end, Hurts normally get nicked up at least a game or two toward the back half of the season and end up missing at least one division game. But I always thought that was funny that whenever it's going bad, he gonna go ahead and check out. It ain't on his record.
Yeah, he
Bagel
be
was
out. He
good.
be out of there. Hey, he be out. Dak be up out of there. But you right. Like every season, like they start having a bad season, like Dak just end up like somehow end up gone.
Man,
And they
every time.
already and like you said, for the people who trying to say, nah, that's why nah, like he said, they already be having a bad season, and then Dak just end up getting on through. Hey, matter of fact, wasn't that Dak? Wasn't that Dak on the sideline last year? He said something like we trash or something like that.
That was that.
Man,
They was getting that
that
work
tells
put
you that
into him
tells you
against
all you
Atlanta.
that tell you all you need to know right there. He like, shit, let me get up out of here. We trash, boy. I'm gonna come back next year.
Yeah, but Jesse, Dak ain't no running quarterback, and he still be getting hurt. So I mean, I can kind of get it from Hurts' perspective, but Dak ain't no running quarterback.
Nah, Dak be in that pocket. Now he did used to run a little bit more
A
his
little
first
bit.
few seasons, but he been kind of got off that. He really he
Ba-
really need he really need to run a little bit more.
Bagel say you got a bone to pick with you.
Hey, I'm grown.
Yeah, Jesse. I figured you was talking about Hurts, but I mean that just come with the territory, and I don't even know right now. I'm still. I think Hurts is still selective enough with his legs that it's not too much of a problem. Like he ain't like Vic. Vic, every time
I
he
think
had the
Hurts only
ball, huh?
I think he only got hurt running once though. Like when the times he did get hurt, I think he only got hurt.
Yeah. Well, I remember one time he got hurt against the Bears. I
Yeah,
felt
the
like that
Bears
was
game.
more coaching than Hurts. Um,
That was coaching. There was a
last
call.
for one, it was cold out there, and then you ain't had no business calling all them running plays against that defense. But last year that was I don't know if it was necessarily dirty, but it felt like a dirty hit. See what Bagel said.
Man, that was a
Right.
dirty hit. That was a dirty hit.
Say hers
Man,
gonna be
Hurts getting
great
ready to
this year.
ball out. MVP. We talking about, and this might be an MVP season.
Yeah, Bagel. Before
Somebody,
you got in here,
somebody,
we kind of talked. We talked about really just cornerback and safety. Them really. If you want to nitpick and say we got holes, those is where we probably our weakest at, and it's only from the
and that,
standpoint of we don't know what we have and who's in the building.
yeah, and I feel like it's really more so like depth wise. Like I
Hmm.
believe I believe Ringo can hold down that corner position. But my thing is, what if him or Quinion get hurt? Like, dang,
Right.
who behind them? Same thing. Now, I will say this about safety. Sidney Brown, I think he can hold it down. Makuba, we'll see what he gonna do his first year as a rookie. But him and Sidney Brown, they ain't there like similar play styles. And then we got a young boy who gonna be, holding it. Like if it get to the point where he end up having to play, the boy that came out of Toledo, what's his name? Hook or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
Maxon. Yeah.
that's Q's old teammate.
But yeah, we get to the point where he got to play. It's gonna be like he done sit behind them boys so long that he'll be ready. But you know, you can never go wrong with a vet. You can never go wrong with a vet. I would take I'd take, like you said, what's his name, Justin Simmons. I'd
Simmons.
take Justin Simmons. But a lot of people talking like a lot of people talking like like lost a bunch of people or something like that. We lost like Sweat. Sweat replacement was already in the building. Hunt already
Mm-hmm.
he gonna replace what Sweat was doing. Who else we lost? We lost Milton
Milton
Williams. Milton
Williams.
Williams wasn't Milton Williams wasn't even a starter.
Nah, he
He
was
was a quality.
rotational.
He was a quality rotational piece. We got Moro Jomo. If y'all go back and look at the tape from last year, Moro Jomo
Dog.
gonna hold that down. And then what people not accounting for is Jordan Davis
Mm-hmm.
with Fangio year two. He been doing cardio all off season. Then he about to
And
get
he
into
ended the season. If you would believe in anything carrying over from one season to the next, he did finish the postseason like
yeah
on a little
great.
stretch. Like he back to back sacks.
Yeah, he did.
So you
Hmm.
know, that's not for nothing. He could, you know, possibly pick up where he left off if that's a thing.
He he ain't gonna let me tell you this, and I'm willing to put everything on it. He will not be the same player he was last year. He improved. There's no way he ain't improved. You around Jalen Carter every day and Nolan Smith, and y'all all Georgia man. Them boys they working out together. They get and then you gotta understand at the end of the season, the coaches already tell these boys what they need to work on to get better for next season. They done told Jordan Davis what he need to work on. That's why they said they had gave like reports came out saying that reports came out saying that like I guess they gave him season workout plan or whatever, and then they checked in with him. I guess right before they did his contract, they said he had been doing what he was supposed to do. He was in great shape. He had been doing everything they told him to do and all that. So, um,
Going back to coaching, I believe in Clint Hurt too.
oh
Being
yeah, for
able to
sure.
keep being
Man,
able to keep him in the building was huge. That's the Clint Hurt is the Stoutland of the defensive line, in my opinion.
yeah, Clint Hurt. I definitely want what car driving around in a circle. But yeah, Clint Hurt. I went what's my dog name? Went to the Saints. Kellen Moore.
Kellen
So when
Moore.
Kellen Moore went to the Saints, I was hoping that he didn't take um, Clint
Clint.
Hurt with him. And then when he didn't, I was like, oh, we good to go. Clint Hurt, Fangio still there, and we still got the DB coach that Justin Simmons wanted to come play for. What's his name? Christian Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um, we gonna be straight, man. The only thing I'm trying to think of like something that I might could nitpick. Well, we already did it. Safety and cornerback. Trying to think maybe something.
I don't know. It's hard to envision right now something that's like a dire need. I felt like we may not have filled the whole 100%, but definitely let me see what Jesse said. Eagles lost personnel wise with more last year. This year, not so much. Makuba is an upgrade. You think Makuba is I don't know if he an upgrade over CJ though.
He might. I mean, we got to see it. The only thing, like, so you got to think about CJ. Then he didn't see the game. I think Makuba might end up being more younger and more athletic and more
Yeah,
able to cover in the pass game. But
right,
he got to work his way up to it. He ain't gonna come in game one being what
right.
CJ GJ would have been at week one. But by the end of the season, you might be right. By the end of the season, he might be an upgrade.
Yeah, it's possible. Bagel said, "Are y'all worried about the Chiefs? We weren't worried about the Chiefs last year, Bagel. We weren't worried about the Chiefs last year
You should
or
be.
the year
Hey, go.
before
You
that."
need to go jump on the Chiefs stream. Are y'all worried about the Eagles? God dang. Hey, look. Let me tell you something. When that schedule drop tomorrow, it's gone. How many teams we play? 16.
Mm-hmm.
How many games it is? 17. It's gonna be
It's
we
about
played some teams
16. It's
twice,
probably like 16.
but outside of the division game, it's gonna be a bunch of teams looking at their schedule. Damn, we gotta play the Eagles week 3. Damn, we gotta play the Eagles week 5. I'm telling you, if we ain't looking at our schedule. We gotta play Kansas City. We ain't looking at
Nah,
none of that. They gotta play us. They gotta play
nah.
us. The people. I'm telling you. Uh, who said that? Bagel.
Yeah,
Who said that? Ain't what Bagel? Colts fan.
yeah, Colts fan.
So if you was looking at that schedule and you seen the Eagles, you that's exactly what you would have been saying. Damn, we gotta play the Eagles. Damn, that's a L. Damn, that's
Jesse
a L
said
week 5. We gotta play.
Makuba has a knack of being in the right place at the right time. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
like what I
I
saw
like
from him
Makuba.
on the on tape.
We gotta see it. We gotta see it in the
We got to
league though.
see it
I ain't
at the
saying
pro
that it
level.
can't happen. Yeah, we just saying give them time. Like so, let me say this, Jesse. This is why I don't. This is why I don't like subscribing to stuff too early. Cause a lot of fans, especially Eagles fans, when you don't see what you think you're gonna see from a player early, y'all
You
start getting
write them
down on
off.
players. Damn, they
You
need to
write them
take
off.
Makuba. They need to take Makuba out of there. He ain't no get them young boys time. Now if he come in there and start balling out right away, I'm gonna be like, all right, bet. But if he don't come in there and start and not balling out right away, I'm still not gonna say that. I'm like, hey, give him time. But a lot of people, y'all don't give these dudes time to develop, and that's because y'all have so much expectations out of them. I'll just let them go out there and play and just talk about what I see on the field. But
Hmm.
I also give them time to develop. Like everybody was down on Nolan Smith coming out of that his first season.
And the Kobe
I
Dean
don't know why, but and he didn't even get that many snaps for them to be down on him. So when we started this stream last year, we made a video talking about N'Kobe Dean. We talked about Reed Blankenship. We talked about Nolan. How people need to give these dudes time to develop, and they probably was gonna have a good year. And well, look what happened. Midway through the season,
fan
they all
favorites.
started getting up. And I feel the same way about Bryce Huff. And we keep Bryce Huff on the roster, we gonna see a different Bryce Huff than we saw last year. It's gonna be his second year
Yes.
with Fangio. You gotta remember he was coming from playing in the same scheme with the Jets. Like people gotta understand, and he got hurt. So by the time he got really, by the time finding his groove, he got hurt. So a lot of people like, man, we need to trade Bryce Huff. Like if we trade him, we trade him. But if we don't, I'm not gonna be mad about it. I think he's gonna
Nope.
go out there and do what he's supposed to do. And then you gotta think about it. If he don't, it's so many other people on the roster. Like we got Ojolari, we got Nolan, we
Uche.
got Uche, we got Hunt, we got the young boy we just got in the draft. Like I ain't really worried about it.
Yeah, I
But
think we
but I'm
definitely
saying that all that
straight.
to say get off my boy Bryce Huff nuts.
And we can add Jahan Dotson to the list. Cause
Jahan Dotson.
he ain't done nothing but what we wanted him to do or asked him to do last year. Every time we needed him to step up, whether it was the amazing catch that he had in Jacksonville to being
Boy,
the number one wide receiver when we played the Giants at the end of the year, to making a big catch in the Super Bowl to set us up for our first touchdown. So it's a lot of guys that just need the opportunity. I think a lot of times as fans, we kind of can get stuff confused with if a player don't get the opportunity to show what they got, they automatically trash. But really, they just need time to show us what they can do. Um, I seen enough out of Jahan Dotson to believe that he could be a solid number 3, maybe even a number 2 if need be. I
I,
seen enough out of Huff to know that he could be a good rotational piece. I ain't worried about the money. I mean, however much they paid him, it kind of is what it is with that. Um, at the end of the day, I believe in
give it to him,
all the
whatever you
guys
got.
that we got. At the end of the day, I believe in all the guys we got on the roster. So I'm good with that. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to chop it up about today. Oh, we got another one from Jeffrey Champion. Let me see what Jeff got to say. I wouldn't get too excited over George Pickens. The Steelers always get rid of receivers that are divas. Juju Smith, Antonio Brown, and Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I can see both sides of that. One, yeah, it has the potential to be, a bad move. But at the end of the day, we just never know. It could be that he just needed a new scenery. This is his last year. The Steelers could have just not wanted to pay him. They just paid DK Metcalf a bag, and they wanted to probably get something for him instead of just letting him walk in free agency. So, could he have possibly bless you?
Bless you.
Could he have possibly been a headache in the locker room? Maybe. That's something that we really won't know. Um, at the end of the day, it could work in Dallas, it could not. But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, and even if it don't work, it won't. I don't think it'll be something that'll like show up right away. So
Right, right. It's gonna take some time. But
it's gonna take some time.
he got the added benefit now of not having to be a number one. Cause
And
CD is a bona fide number one. So the
exactly.
really the pressure off. And this is a contract year for him. So I'm sure he wanna prove something.
And let's be real, he in a good situation to do it. Like he in Dallas with Dak. Like Dak ain't no scrub. He ain't no Jalen Hurts, but he ain't no scrub.
Right,
You feel me? Like he and that usually don't choke into the postseason.
right. He a great regular season quarterback. Bagel said, "What do y'all think of the Colts?" I'll be honest with you, Bagel. I haven't. I've been in the off season. I've been enjoying this Super Bowl. Like I've been doing a lot of celebrating. I ain't really been paying attention to no moves, especially not in the AFC. So I can't really tell you, what y'all did or didn't do, or what I like or don't like about it. Um, I just have to see. I still believe in Sugar Shane Steichen. But outside of that, I'm not really sure what y'all did in the offseason. How do you feel about the draft? I feel like we talked about briefly um the draft. How y'all feel about y'all's draft though? You're gonna have to convince
Yeah, I
me
haven't
about
watched.
Bryce.
I haven't watched. I haven't watched. You gonna have to convince me. I ain't gotta convince you about nothing. You can keep feeling the same way you gonna keep feeling the same way you feel. I'm gonna keep feeling the same way I feel. We gonna leave it at that. I ain't trying to convince nobody.
Yeah, bro. Yes, right. I agree. I can't wait to see him flying over all over that field.
Oh, while we on the stream, he just reminded me. While we on the stream, let me just put this out there. Smile Monday from Georgia. Probably outside of Jahad Campbell, okay? We know Jahad Campbell, everybody's favorite pick because he gonna be a dog. Everybody
Mhm.
talking about he gonna be the closest thing to Michael Parsons, blah blah blah, whatever. Abdul Carter, what? Smile, I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. Be my favorite pick in the draft. My favorite pick. Not a lot of people talking about. Not a lot of people. I think he gonna be a dog. And I think a lot of people gonna catch on to him late. This was going. If Jahad Campbell miss a good time, like he don't get to practice and stuff like that. I think Small Money gonna win that starting spot beside what's my dude name?
Zach
The
Bond.
other line, Zach Bun. Smile Money gonna win that job beside Zach Bun, and he gonna be getting off, and it's gonna be hard to get him off the field. And if he start week one against Dallas, he gonna be a fan favorite. I'm telling you now.
I am interested to see how they use him because he don't have the thing that him and the other linebacker, Junior.
Who?
I can't think of his
Oh,
name.
try to
Yeah, Trotter Junior. They not hurt, so they gonna be able to come right in and get whatever reps that Campbell
exactly,
was gonna get initially. So right now, I
exactly,
mean, they got a great opportunity to come in and make some waves.
exactly. That's my point, and I think he'll win. I think he'll win the job. Only thing Trotter got over him is yeah, he already know the system, and he already done played in it. So that'll put him behind the eight ball. But as far as like just straight up talent and the way he play the game, he get on the field, man. I think it's over with.
Yeah, Jeffrey. As a Browns fan, how do you feel about the Shador pickup? I think y'all got a steal.
Hold on, I'm a Browns fan. Now I have to worry. What did it say?
He said now he got to worry about Sanders fans
Sanders fans
that know nothing about football
that
coming in.
know nothing about. I'm gonna give me a Shador Sanders jersey. Well, if he end up being a starter, I'm gonna get a Shador Sanders Browns jersey.
And we got and we got that other guy at the
Just
end
go
of the
ahead.
season who was a dog too.
No, wait.
Who? Who you talking about, Sarai? Mogul Brand said yeah, Mogul. Ty Robinson, that's my guy. That's who I can't wait to see line them up and dunk some people on their head. Lewis Kine. I forgot about him. Yeah, I forgot about Kine. I am excited about that as well. But guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in to the Down South Philly show. I am your co-host, DP, and we had Dom in the building, your other co-host. Um, we just wanted to chop it up with y'all and get y'all thoughts on, Dallas and the fact that we played in week 1. And just come, cover some interesting news that we ain't get to talk about last week. We'll be right back here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Tuesday. But until then, y'all be great. And as always, go Birds.
What y'all doing?
No.